This broadcast is brought to you by the British Israel Church of God. The Watchman Program. Evangelist and commentator Peter Salemi, bringing you the truth about today's world news in the light of Bible prophecy.
Hi, Peter Salemi, and welcome back to part 3 of this video series on the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Now, last time in part 2, we saw that the rider of the red horse, the second horseman, actually represented warfare, that there would be conflicts going on all over the world before the end comes. So that is the symbol of the second rider of the red horse. Now we're on the third rider of this black horse, and we're going to show you this clip of the vision that John saw when he wrote this down. Take a look at this clip.
When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a black horse. And he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a penny, and 3 quarts of barley for a penny, and do not harm the oil and the wine."
All right, so that's the vision that John saw, this rider, this third rider, on a black horse. And notice the descriptions that he gives here in this prophecy. He says lo, this black horse, and he saw him with a pair of balances in his hand, and he heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts saying, "A measure of wheat for a penny," or a denarii, "and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." So why does he have this pair of balances in his hand? Well, that's to weigh and measure food, because there is, of course, a scarcity of things to eat. Now, you notice that it says here, a measure of wheat for a penny, or a denarii. Back in John's time, in Jesus' time, this was a Roman silver coin, and it was equal in value to a daily wage of a working man. And that's in Matthew, the 20th chapter, verse 2. Now, anciently, oil and wine were not luxuries. They were basic commodities of life. Grain and new wine and oil, this will say, of course, a standard threesome describing the staples of life. And you can read that in Deuteronomy 7:13, 11:14, and Hosea, the 2nd chapter, verse 8 and 22. So basically, the third rider pretty much symbolizes famine and hunger, and of course, he's measuring out the basic staples for survival. And in Matthew, the 24th chapter, verse 7, after Jesus Christ talked about warfare, he says, "And there shall be famines." And of course, famine is always a result of warfare, because of course, war wreaks havoc on the agriculture. And we see that today, war-torn nations suffering from famines. And I'm just going to give you a list of some countries right now that are suffering from famine today: Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Timor-Leste, Haiti, Liberia, Zambia, Madagascar, Chad, Yemen. All these nations and many more are suffering from famine today. So the third horseman symbolizes famine. Download this free booklet inside the book of Revelation. We go through with you chapter by chapter what all these symbols mean in the book of Revelation. Download it free of charge off our website, britishisrael.ca. This is Peter Salemi saying goodbye, friends, and we'll see you here next time.